So recently the Spectre got a huge buff, and this is the last out of the big changes that happened recently in the latest update, which I still haven't covered, so I thought we'd do that one today. So the way that I want to look at this huge buff is that the Spectre, for the exact same price, now gets an additional Neva-Miss targeting tower inside of it, because what happens now is that all of these radial darts that are coming out of the Neva-Miss now get transferred over to the Spectre, and that's really important because these darts are actually really strong. And one of the new changes as well is that when you upgrade to the Spectre, these new darts, they start doing 3 damage instead of 1. So I wanted to try to get 2 million pops onto the Spectre, and I wanted to do it on Dark Path because this is a really cool map for it. The Spectre likes attacking in a straight line, and this is pretty much the ideal map for it, and I think the Spectre can do it, especially with these new changes. So now that we have the money for the ace, I'm just gonna buy it like here below. So let me get the faster ranks onto a boomer actually, just to get a little bit more consistency versus these yellows and then eventually the pink balloons. And yeah, even though I place the ace like this is actually probably the best spot, believe it or not, for a tower like this, because you need to have this tower attacking in a straight line so that you fully use its spears, or the damage is gonna go down really fast. Actually, do I want to have the boomer on like last or something like that? I think I just want to keep it on. I kept it on last for a second, but that's not a good idea. Oh, did you guys see the ace snipe on the green balloon? So as long as we deal with these pink balloons, we should probably be fine. And now we're gonna need the ace too. Let me just move it back. Oh my god, we missed it. Okay, let me not try and be funny with this. I'm just gonna get the sniper. I'm gonna have this guy on strong, and then the only thing that we need to do is we need to hold on until we can get the Neva-Miss. And once we get the Neva-Miss, once we buff it with an alchemist, this tower is just gonna take off by itself. And also, I'm not in a hurry in getting Adora, because Adora is also gonna be like away from all of these towers. The only thing that she's gonna be doing is just making sure that these guys get sacrificed so they don't take away any pops. So here's how I want to do things. I'm gonna get the sharper darts now, and then getting the center path is actually gonna be really nice because of this placement that we have. So before we get the Neva-Miss, I'm actually gonna get the center path, and I'm gonna have the Spectre flying around the middle, just so we use. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does a little bit of damage, and I think that we should be fully using that. So let's see if this is gonna be. Oh. No, go back. Is anyone gonna snipe that? No. You know what? Maybe I should be microing the sniper. So let's go on. I'm keeping it on first, and I think that for some of these rounds, it actually should be on first because it gets a little bit overloaded if it's not strong. Let's say there's like a white balloon. The white balloon goes into a pink, and then no one is focusing it down, right? So maybe it's a combination between strong and first is the correct choice. But a lot of balloons in this one. This is gonna be around 21. We're actually dealing with everything. This is a surprisingly good combination for this early game, it looks like. Did I jinx it by saying that? Because round 22 is actually a really interesting one. So let's move on first. Oh no, that's way too many balloons. Okay, so let's get the rapid fire, I guess, onto this thing, and then maybe we can try and have it like this, and then maybe I can do something with the flight path, so maybe move it back and it goes into the middle or something like that. Is this gonna be enough? Let's move the sniper to first, and I hope. Oh, we're gonna need some of these darts. Are we? Oh my god, that was amazing. Alright, so a lot of balloons, but I guess the good thing is that it's mainly yellows, and we're not that concerned about yellow balloons. Yeah, so I think that this round is possible, but we need to do something with this button, which essentially makes the Spectre, not the Spectre, but the ace turn back. So as soon as we get the yellow balloons, I'm just going to use this button. I'm going to try and get like an explosion inside of the middle, and I think that's going to do. As long as we hit as many balloons as possible, it's going to be fine. So the yellows are coming out, so we're going to have a flyover now. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to switch the sniper to first. So you sniped it. Yes, that was perfect. So that was a red balloon. We sniped it. And what do we do now? Do we get the full metal jacket, or do we try and chill like this? Let me just have the ace go back so that we do some. Yeah, I actually think that this round is possible. I'm just going to keep the I'm gonna keep the sniper on first, and then I'm gonna try and get some bursts of damage just like that. That was perfect. Is that gonna hold? Yes, it is. Okay, so it's just a little bit of RNG basically, and thankfully we have this restart, this retry last round button, which they recently added, which is it's actually saving us right now so much. It's insane. Okay, so about the same thing, but these lead balloons are a little bit more spaced out, so it gives us time to deal with them one by one. So actually, round 30 is ironically a little bit easier than round 28. So let's move the ace like that. Oh no, that was amazing. That was just beautiful. Okay, so now I think we have the money. Yes, we do. So we have the money for the Neva-Miss, and let me just buy it. And starting from now, I'm just gonna get the lots more darts. Actually, we should be careful because we're gonna have some camo balloons. But yeah, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to move the center path. I'm gonna have it like this towards the back, and yeah, this is where the damage actually starts. Okay, so it's round 35, and before getting any of these other upgrades like the lots more darts, or before getting camo detection, I'm actually just gonna get an alchemist. And I think that this alchemist is gonna be really important because it really scales nicely with all of these darts. So because all of these darts get launched at once, all of them get buffed by the alchemist, and that's why this is such a nice combo. And look at this thing. It's just like a 103 ace that is going to, oh, wait a minute, let me just have the sniper on first. This is gonna be enough. So this is a little bit of an issue that I'm having. Yeah, it's gonna be the camo balloons, right? Okay, so here's what I want to do. I mean, maybe we can just get the crossbow, right? Because it does 3 damage per shot, so it's going to be one-shotting these guys. And also the sniper is one-shotting them as well because it gets extra damage from the goggles. And this should be really good, I guess, for 37. And then by the time 42 comes out with the other camo balloons, I expect to have more camo detection. Okay, so it's round 39. We're dealing with the small balloons, no problem, as expected from the Neva-Miss. And keep in mind, we're going to have this thing integrated into the Spectre for free. That's the change. But the problem is that we cannot exactly deal with mob class balloons that well, right? Am I wrong about that? It's just a 300 Alchemist. I really hope we deal with the insides, especially these ceramic balloons. And it is close. And I cannot believe we survived that. What is this tower? It's so good. It has always been this good. Now imagine we have this thing. This is not even in full power yet, guys. So we don't have the lots more darts, which we're going to buy so many things. I'm really glad that we survived that round because that's a green light to do everything we want to do. So first off, camo detection, really important. Next up, lots more darts. A bunch more darts getting buffed by the Alchemist. That's something that we have to buy. And then next up is the strongest stim, which is going to make these darts so much stronger. It's insane. Let me just actually go for something like a 420 on the Alchemist. Then we're going to get some attack speed. And all of these darts, when you upgrade to the Spectre, they're all going to do 3 damage. So if this was strong, imagine that we're getting all of this for free. That is the new buff to the Spectre. I think it's going to be amazing. So round 49, this is the most dangerous round out of the 40s. And do we even need to take a look at these rounds? We need to watch them because look at this thing go. Look at these darts go. Look at just them homing onto these ceramic balloons and they just wiped like, I think it's like 15 ceramics or something like that. They're just gone. You don't even see them. But in the meantime, I bought the jungle jumps. We have a little bit of extra attack speed for this thing. And I also bought a door because we need to get it to level 7 so that we sacrifice these towers so they don't take away any pops for 2 mega pops. I know that we're not playing deflation, but I just wanted to mention that if you guys don't know, the best deflation strategy is just to spam, it's just to buy like 2 of these guys, 203s, buff them by an Alchemist, and they're gonna win by themselves. And you guys can see why that's the case, because there's nothing that these guys cannot defend. And this goes for even the hardest maps in BT6. I'm talking about the true experts. So we got the money for the Spectre. We can buy right now. Adore is also level 7, but I'm going to sacrifice the sniper first because this guy he's taking a lot of pops and he actually has global range. But the boomer has actually not been taking that many pops. But I did want to upgrade to a Spectre because I wanted to see how the Neva-Miss is going to do versus a BFB by itself. So this is no monkey knowledge, no nothing, just the ordinary Neva-Miss buffed by an Alchemist versus a BFB, round 60 BFB. Is he going to be able to defeat it? The map is not exactly that long. I think it might leak actually. It might, oh my god, that's so close. Okay, so it actually loses to a BFB. It's kind of close. I think that, you know, maybe if you get some RNG, you might be able to defeat it. But let me just buy the Spectre, just get over with this thing. And this is the tower that we're trying to test today. So what you want to have with the Spectre is you want it attacking from, I don't want to say as far away as possible, but you do want it attacking down a straight line so that all of the spears from its shells and its darts gets fully used, right? So the tower is not going to struggle versus anything in the mid game. Actually, it's that good of a tower. It's also going to do well into the early free play, but it is going to need a lot of support when we go into like these 80s and 90s, and that's the next thing that we're gearing up for. So let's watch round 63, and let me just show you guys that this thing is just going to evaporate these ceramic waves. Yes, there we go. So I guess there's a little bit of a downside which happened in the last update, and as these darts lost about 25% of their peers. So you might theoretically want to do something like Geralda's Sharpening Stone, which actually does work onto these darts to kind of get some of it back. But overall, it should not be like a huge difference, because overall, what happened to this tower is just a straight up buff. Okay, so round 75, I'm just checking in with you guys to tell you what the plan is in these next rounds. The Spectre is not budging, and it's not going to budge actually. It's not going to budge anytime soon, but here's what I'm going to do. We're going to get the standard, you know, these stalling towers which don't take any pops. So I'm talking about things like the Relentless Glue for sure. We're going to get an Ice Tower for sure. We're going to do a little bit of AMD stacking actually on it. So we might as well do that right now. So it's basically when you do... I think they decreased the limit to like 30 attacks on this thing, so I think that just 3 of these Alchemists is the max currently, but I just want to have as much damage and as much uptime onto this AMD. And the problem that the Spectre has is that it actually cannot deal with DDTs, so we're gonna need the MIB upgrade bot, and then just like an overclock to increase the damage even that much. But yeah, it's round 78, this thing is not budging, this is not even close on any of these rounds as you would expect, so I'm gonna see you guys in a second actually. I'm gonna get a village like this. This is going to be a I think I'm just gonna keep it as a 320 glue, 320 village, because we're gonna need our glue to see camo. And also, I guess it's fine. So where do we want to have the glue? Here on the high ground or on the low ground? I think this is gonna be fine, right? On the high ground, it's a little bit better. So let's get this thing as a relentless glue. We're gonna keep it on first. This is gonna be a 024, just the standard stuff. Maybe we want to get like an ice tower here. I think this is gonna be perfect for the ice tower. So maybe go something like a 240 ice, the snowstorm, which is gonna be able to hold DDTs. And I'm also thinking maybe we need to save some pounds, because when it comes to these stronger balloons, especially like maybe the bad around 100 or something like that, the Spectre is definitely going to struggle dealing a lot of single target damage. So maybe we're gonna need to buy something like a spike storm. So let's just not waste these pops is what I'm saying. The ice doesn't have a lot, but you know, if it starts getting into the thousands, that's when the problems start arising. Around 92, we're still doing very well. I mean, as expected, and I think that the huge portion of these, how much pops does it have? It's got like almost 900,000 pops, but I think that the huge portion of these pops are just thanks to these Neva-Miss darts, these new darts, which are also getting alg buffed, and they do 3 damage now. So yeah, let me just use the Sabo actually, because things are starting to get a little bit dicey in the middle. I think that should be fine. Yeah, so this is not exactly, I mean, it's a long and it's a nice map, don't get me wrong, but this is not exactly the, I guess the way, what I'm saying is we could have went for a longer map if we wanted to showcase this, but I think this should be fine. So it's overclock for these DDTs, and it should be able to deal with everything, no problem. Let me just check the pops onto the ice. It's 200. Okay, so it's not that many pops, but I'm just a little bit paranoid, because we lost thousands and thousands of pops onto these early towers, like the boomer, if you guys remember, that we have the sniper and the dart. So now, because we have 2 Sabos, I'm going to use one of the Sabos right now, just because we can. The other one is going to come off cooldown by the time the second one ends. Let me overclock, not forget to do that. And we're dealing with the small balloons, but it's also around 94, so this is not as dangerous of a round as you might think. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to use the first Sabo. We're going to have the second Sabo for 95, and I'm also going to keep the ice ability. And we do have a lot of money, by the way. So yeah, we're dealing with these ZOMGs. That is my question. We seem to be dealing with them. So as long as these guys get glued, they're gonna get popped. They're gonna get like a mini stun next to relentless glue, and that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so around 95, I'm going to overclock this thing as soon as these DDTs appear, and then we do have a Sabo plus the ice ability, the snowstorm ability. So let's overclock now. Let's use the first Sabo. We're gonna have the second one come off cooldown. But let's see how we're gonna do with this thing. So these darts are also doing, like, I guess I'm banking on a little damage getting done by the darts as well. And I think that the damage is actually going to be noticeable, at least in terms of how this thing used to work. So let me actually freeze him because the Sabo ended. I don't want to use the other Sabo. I want to save it for 96. And I think that is, yep, that's about it with 95. Okay, so 96, let me use the first Sabo right now. I'm really glad I bought 2 of these guys. And actually, if you want 100% uptime, you can just buy 3 and you can just alternate them forever. But let's not do that. We have money for the absolute 0, and I want to save a little bit of cash as well. And let me just check the pops on this thing. So 500 pops. I think that we are well on our way to do this thing, but I still want to save some pops. Let's use the second Sabo, by the way. I think we can, do we want to freeze? Yeah, let's freeze these guys just for a second. The overclock is still on going onto the Spectre, and we dealt with the small balloons, which is really important. But now when it comes to these bigger balloons, the problem is that a lot of the small balloons just start kind of rushing into us at the same time. So as long as they pop one by one, I'm going to use the second Sabo actually, because the next round is 97. So those are just small, not small, but slow ZMGs. Oh, they're making a couple of circles into the middle, but okay, we seem to have dealt with these guys. So I guess the problem is going to be 98, right? As usual. Okay, so this is round 98, and this is probably the scariest round. I used the Sabo and I used the overclock, and I'm ready for the second one. We also have the absolute 0 ability if anything goes wrong, and we do have some choices, right, to alternate, which is the most important thing. Oh, the Sabo right now, so I'm going to use the second one now. I think that we can just keep using these guys. So as long as we deal with the small balloons, yeah, so this is the problem with 98. So look at this thing. So many balloons into the middle at the same time. This is why this round is so difficult. And the fact that it's got like 300,000 RB, that can be a little bit of a problem as well. And nothing seems to be leaking. Oh, I jinxed it. I saw ceramic. I was going to say nothing seems to be leaking, but things are kind of making it through so far. Oh, look at these guys. So let me freeze, actually. Do we catch them? I mean, maybe we can buy like one more ice tower if anything goes wrong, but I really hope that we deal with these guys. Oh, maybe I should... No, I'm a little bit late with this thing, but maybe I should have kind of made the Spectre turn back. Okay, so round 98, this is going to be take 2 because the first attempt didn't go so well, but I'm actually going to go a little bit more freely with the abilities. So I'm going to use the absolute 0 right now. I have a Sabo going, and then as soon as the Absolute Zero wears off, I'm going to use the small Snowstorm that I bought, which doesn't hold them very long, but it does a little bit of work, I guess. Now, I'm going to use the Sabo, and while the Sabo is ongoing, you know what? I'm just going to use the Absolute Zero again. So basically, the change from last time is that I'm just spamming these abilities as much as possible to keep these balloons in place. And I think it might be working because now, if you guys see, these Zero MGs are at the back and the small balloons are at the front, which is really important. Okay, so Sabo coming up in a second. I'm going to use it, and do I keep the Absolute Zero? I think I won't, actually. I think I'm just going to use it, and we should get one of these abilities up in a second. I think this is a long ways before they make it out, right? We do get the Snowstorm, the small Snowstorm ability. I should probably do this. Just buy like one of these guys just so we're ready for the battle around 100, just in case. And this looks a lot better than last time, I'm going to be honest. I think we're dealing with it. So I'm going to use the Sabo, and this Sabo is going to slow these guys down, but more importantly, it's going to carry over to 99 for the 45 DDTs. And let me just check the pops on this thing. So 1.9, we're missing about 70,000 pops, but it's 2 rounds left to go. So let me use the Absolute Zero, just freeze these guys, keep them in place, and then we do have a Spike Storm if necessary. We only have one, by the way, but as long as we go over the 2 million mark, it's gonna be fine. So let me overclock this thingy. Let's try and amplify the damage a little bit. Let's do this. Let's use the Spike Storm ability because things are not looking really good. Let me amplify the damage. We have the overclock going. Is this going to be fine? Okay, this is not looking that good, guys. I'm going to be honest. Let me just check the pops. So we're missing about 18,000 pops, and we barely popped the bat at the end. So we have to rethink this. Okay, so I bought 2 things, and we have $19 left. This is as close as it gets. So I bought a 420 Ice, which is not going to do a lot, but it's going to do a little bit of damage amplification. And I also bought a 042 Glue, and I'm just going to time these abilities here. So we're going to have the Embrailment attacking. I'm going to, let's overclock. Let's use the Glue Strike and then use the Spike Storm, which is going to make this thing do a lot of damage. Now when the bat goes in, it's going to take a lot of damage from the Spike Storm. I know. Yeah, we just need to get this damage going. And so far we're missing, oh my god, we're missing a lot of damage. Is this gonna happen? I think it is. As long as the bat pops, honestly, I think it's gonna happen. So we do have some of these abilities back, and let me just use the ability like this. Let's freeze these guys. Okay, so it popped. Can I freeze one more time? What is happening? Do I Spike Storm this? I don't want to Spike Storm it. So let's use the Sabo. The other one expired, and we do have one more freeze. Actually, I'm gonna freeze right now. And we're missing 5, 4, 3. Yes, there we go. We got it. Okay, so now the only thing we need to do is just to pop these guys. So let's freeze. I'm gonna Spike Storm because I don't think we care. And yes, we got it. Okay, that was a photo finish. Let's just hit review map. 2,019,000 pops. We barely got over the mark, but you know what? We got there. And you know what? I think that this new Spectre is actually really cool because now it gets a Neva-Miss Ace built into it for the exact same cost. And it's actually not even a Neva-Miss. It's a little bit stronger than that. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm going to see you all in the next one.